Hi, everybody. Real progressives. I don't want to talk too long, but it was something that I've been seeing a lot lately out there, and I just want to make sure that we stay focused and not get into trouble with perfection. And what I mean by perfection is don't let the perfect be the enemy of progress. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of achieving real progress. We're dealing with politics here. And when dealing with politics, we're dealing with sometimes let's just face it and call it for what it is. Sometimes slime. Politics is dirty. Politics is nasty. Politics can be ugly. And we just seen one of the poster childs for everything that's wrong with our politics go down in a landslide lost in Hillary Rodham Clinton in the previous election. Hey Nicole, from Oregon. So what we have to do going forward is we can't get too caught up into looking for a perfect candidate. And what I mean by looking for a perfect candidate is there are people that held positions before that we don't necessarily agree with now. My only issue with people that held a position prior that was wrong is where are you at now? What have you learned from what you was from the position you was on? Because I can tell you, at one point in time, I haven't been right on all the issues. At one point in time, Kendall Sullivan, was for the war in Libya. I, at one point in time, was for regime change. I always was against the war in Iraq, even as a 16-year-old kid. But at one point in time, I was for regime change. At one point in time, I thought wars were put on a credit card. I thought that taxes fund federal spending. So does that mean that it disqualifies me from being part of the process? Does that mean that this disqualified me from fighting for real change? It doesn't. So when we put up someone out there and then someone attacks them with saying, "Well, they used to be for this," okay, what are they for now? That's what I care about. What are they for now, and how are they, and what is their plan going forward? Because there are people that has been awake. I mean, there's been sleep that are now awake. So do we disregard people that are now awake that wants to fight for real change? I don't think so. I don't think so. That's going to get us in trouble. If we always looking for a perfect candidate, we always trying to look at someone's resume and trying to look for a smudge on it, look for a negative on it, then how do we move forward? In fact, aren't we against the box being on convicted felons applications? Aren't we against the box that says you have to check the box to say you are once a convicted felon? Aren't we against that? Hey Shannon, aren't we against that? I know I'm against it. Now, if you're a real progressive, you're against it. So let's not do the exact same thing when it comes to our politics. It's that's the exact same thing that we're doing. Oh, you were for this, so you know we're not going to be able to rock with you. We can't support you. We can support you if you're sincere about real change. We can support you if you're sincere about real change, but we can't support you if you've held the wrong issues time after time, decade after decade, year after year, election cycle after election cycle. I'm gonna be honest. I have a problem with Jinx from Young Turks. He supported Hillary Rodham Clinton, and he did it with conviction. And now he wants to pop back up so he can keep his progressive label. As far as I'm concerned, his progressive label has been pulled, snatched. That's my opinion. His progressive label has been snatched. So that was the issues like that where we may dismiss someone. But I'm never going to dismiss someone because of maybe a prior situation that it just all depends on what have you done now. We're never going to find a perfect candidate. We're never going to find a person who's been right on every single issue. We're just not going to find it. It's not going to happen. Now, what we can never do is compromise on what we believe in. We could demand what we want. We could demand the issues that we care about, demand what we want. The Civil Rights Bill don't get passed without someone demanding it. The Civil Rights Bill doesn't get passed without someone demanding what they want. The Civil Rights Bill definitely does not get passed without a lot of people who civil rights wasn't affected. It doesn't get done. If white people wasn't involved in the civil rights era, it doesn't get done. As much as MLK played his role, man, he did play his role. He played a hell of a role. But without the help of people who wasn't affected by these issues, it don't get done. That's why I felt it my obligation when they first started talking about gay rights as a person who's heterosexual. I feel like it's my obligation to stand up for those rights too, because that could be my rights from another standpoint. So if during the civil rights era, if white people if those white people that were just as sick and tired of sick and tired of segregation would stand up for civil rights, right? And help get a civil rights bill passed. Then as a person that's straight, when I see gays being mistreated, I feel obligated to stand up for those people too. Because never let someone else's rights get denied because your rights could be next. So never shun someone for a position that they hold that they may not believe in to this very day. I see it happen too far and far too often as we looking for a perfection. We're looking for a perfect candidate. We're never gonna find it. We're not gonna find a perfect candidate, but we can push for what we accept for. If we see a person that's so closely tied to Wall Street, of course we reject them. If we see a person that's been wrong on these issues time after time, year after year, of course we reject them. I'm gonna go here, and it may be a bit controversial. I don't give a damn if someone wants to fight for progressive values, just stay in office. I don't even care if they're sincere about it. I really don't. I'm to the point where I do not care. A lot of people like to say that Abe Lincoln only passed Emancipation Proclamation because he did it for political reasons. I don't really know, me personally, I don't see what could be popular about trying to free African Americans in the 1800s. Someone got to school me on that one. I don't see what's popular about freeing African Americans at a time when hate in this country was at an all-time high. But let's just say he did do it for political reasons. I don't care, nor do I give a damn. If you were a slave back then, you didn't care. You didn't care if Abe Lincoln helped free the slaves just because for political reasons. You didn't care. I don't care if someone wants to do the right thing for the wrong reasons. I'm just going to be honest. I don't care. If you want to fight for progressive issues, you want to fight to keep people from dying because of lack of health care, if you want to fight against these people that want to gut our deficit, gut our economy, if those people want to fight for our country to spend more in its economy just to stay in office, I don't give a damn. You want to stay in office just to save somebody's life, I don't care. I don't care if you're trying to stay in office for the wrong reason. And what I mean by if you're trying to stay in office for the wrong reasons, I don't care if it's just all politics with you. You just want to be there for 30 years. Okay, whatever. As long as you're sticking to the issues, I don't care. I'm really going there. I do not care. That's how I see it. We must all support our citizens' rights, no matter what. Exactly, Anna. Exactly. We must always do that. We can never lose track of that. And guess who got a first-hand sign of what it takes when you ignore injustice? The Hillbots, the Hillary Paris, the Vote Blue sycophants. Guess what happened to them? All the time you and I was out here talking about how corrupt and unfair the superdelegates were. You know what they said to us? Well, you didn't say nothing about this prior to this primary, so rules are rules. That's what they told us. Rules are rules. So when they want to, I almost said something else. When they almost want to complain about the electoral college, and how Hillary won more popular votes but still lost the election, all I got to say to them is the same thing they said to us. Well, I didn't hear you complaining about it beforehand, so rules are rules. See, that's what happens. That's what happens. Never let someone's rights be denied. Ever. Even if it's in your benefit. Because it will come back around to bite you. It will. It will come back around to bite you. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's not shun everybody because they don't have a record like Jesus Christ. Nobody has that record. Let's not do that. Just let's hold people accountable. And you know what? I'm going to go here too. I don't want to fill a Democratic Party up with good people. I'm not interested in doing that. But I think we should be interested in hijacking the Democratic Party. Let's face it, the Green Party, they barely got 1% of the vote. We can still fight for the Green Party. We can still fight for third parties. We are independent. But I think that vehicle that's in that Democratic vehicle now, everyone in the Democratic Party should be fired. And that entire party should be hijacked, literally. The same way the Tea Party hijacked the Republican Party. Hijacked. I'm not talking about filling the Democratic Party with good people. Forget all that. It needs to be hijacked. Matter of fact, if they want any kind of support from progressives, guess what? We need to make sure that they know that we're the ones in charge now, not you all. we are going to be the one in charge, the American voters, because we have shown y'all that we're willing to lose an election to fight for real change. We showed you all that if you try to force someone else down our throat again, we will vote for a third party. We will vote for the next progressive standard. Honestly, we need a new party. Let's be honest. Michelle Alexander couldn't have said it best. It would be almost easier to build a new party and try to save the Democratic Party from itself. But I am not opposed to voting for a Democrat in the future. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm never going to vote for a Democrat again, because I will vote for anyone with a real progressive agenda, regardless of what party affiliation they are. A real progressive agenda, that's what we support. That's what we did when it came to Bernie. We supported him because he had a real progressive agenda. If he didn't, we probably would have started off voting green from the beginning. We probably wouldn't have even voted in the primaries. But going forward, we have to make sure that we don't let perfection be the enemy of progress. We can't do that. We get caught up into that while the real issues are just passing us by. When we pick and choose, and each person that's put up for our leadership position, we attack them without any alternative. It's one thing when you have an alternative. One thing when you have another person that you think should be in that leadership role. I can tell you one bad role. Chuck Schumer as the Democratic leader. Someone closely tied to Wall Street. That one I don't agree with. That one could be a disaster. And we still have vote blues out here that still blaming the election on us. Let me say this really clear for the people who don't understand. We are being still told in the streets that when we voted for Jill Stein, that means we voted for Donald Trump. Unless, I've heard of different type of software that me and some of the other real progressives were talking about. Like you can go live on Facebook and it can go live on YouTube at the very same time. I've heard of different things like when you trade in stocks, you can trade from one account and it automatically trade another account. I've heard of automatic things that do things like that. But as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, unless I'm wrong, someone correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know of a situation that if I vote for a third party, the other party automatically gets a vote too. I don't know of a situation where if I vote for Jill Stein, that Trump automatically get my vote. I don't think it works like that. I mean, people out there are kind of doing too much, as we call it, doing too much. Because if I vote for Jill Stein, Hillary and Trump gets 0 votes. Jill Stein gets 1. Hillary and Trump gets 0. That's how it works, folks. So one more time. When I voted for Jill Stein, she got 1 vote. Trump got 0. So the whole argument that when I voted for Jill, I voted for Trump, it's asinine. It's embarrassing. Stop saying it. It's embarrassing. Stop saying it. Literally. It doesn't make any sense. Math. Stop arguing with math. Stop arguing with reality. Let's just stay focused and continue to do what they said couldn't be done. Because this movement is bigger than all of us. This is about what we're connected. This is about what connects you and I. This is what all of us believe in our heart. The ability to see a better future, a brighter future for ourselves, and the future that we want for our kids, the future that we want for ourselves. This is about seeing a type of country where no one should have to fight should have to fight for water, should have to spend decades in prison over non-violent offense or for a petty marijuana charge, when those that have crashed our economy haven't done a day in jail, nor have they even been charged. This is a fight. This is the type of issue that connects us together, the type of issues that means that none of us should have to go without health care. None of us should have to go without the ability to get a higher education. Because we are a nation that's saying we are broke, when you and I both know we're a nation that's monetary sovereign. Taxes don't pay for federal spending. They haven't. We've been off the gold standard since 1971. You guys got to stop repeating the lie. Kyle, yes, of course. Seen what happened in Standing Rock. And we stay as our... It is time for Mr. President to step up and stop the pipeline. It's time to stop the pipeline. My personal thoughts is the pipeline is. This is my belief that the pipeline is eventually going to be stopped. But my whole thing is, why drag it out? Why drag it out? Why drag it out and let more violence be inflicted on the people who's trying to fight for life, the right to life? I think this has went long enough. It has went far enough. It should have never went this far to begin with. And it's time that Mr. President stop the pipeline. And it's time to focus on those people out there, because those people need our government right now. And our government can't continue to fail the people, because when people give up on government, it's going to be chaos, folks. You don't want people to completely give up on government. They already have. A lot of them checked out and didn't even vote in this last election. 9 million people did not vote because they're disgusted of what they're seeing put before them. They're disgusted. And you can't even blame them. You can't even blame them. It's our government fails us time and time again. And we can't allow our citizens to lose the ability to hope. Because when we lose the ability to hope, that's what you call a national, that could be a national disaster. That can be more of a disaster. That can be more of a threat to our economy, to our world, to our nation than any anything foreign overseas, as in ISIS or anything like that. That will be a national security issue if you let the American people lose hope in their government. You don't want that. We don't want that. It's already weak to begin with, because people are hurting right now. And as this new president-elect takes office, there's been a couple of Democrats that said, you know what, one thing we can do is we could block him just like he blocked President Obama. That's a mistake. People are hurting. We don't need to play games right now, not with the American economy. We need to actually try to get some things done. How optimistic am I about a Donald Trump presidency? He's putting one racist in his cabinet after another. One senator from my home state, Jeff Sessions. He's putting one racist in there after another. It's like he had a pickup game just picking people. You. So I'm trying to stay hopeful. I'm trying to stay optimistic. I want to get a president-elect a chance, because he's going to be our president. But on the other hand, I'm continuously getting discouraged. We get discouraged about who we see he's putting in his cabinet. This is a disaster waiting to happen. This is a disaster waiting to happen. But this is where you and I come in at. You and I are not going to just sit still idly by and watch them do against us and treat us less than treat us anything less than we deserve to be treated. We're going to fight for democracy. We're going to fight for real change. We're going to fight for the American people. We're going to fight for ourselves. We're going to fight for the generation before. We're going to live up to the generation before us. We're going to live up to the generation that's going to come after us. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. This is Kendall Sullivan with Real Progressives. I'm going to leave it there.